In a jet engine which uses a fuel oil heat exchanger, the oil temperature is controlled by a thermostatic valve that regulates the flow of oil through the heat exchanger. The oil temperature in the turbojet engine's lubricating system is controlled by the thermostatic valve that regulates the flow of oil The purpose of directing bleed air to the outer turbine case in some engines is to provide optimum blade tip clearance by controlling thermal expansion. What sump oil system are most commonly used in gas turbine engines? That's false. Why? Wet sump lubrication systems are not commonly used in gas turbine engines. Statement 2 is true. Most turbine engine oil tanks are pressurized to about 4 psi to ensure a positive flow of oil to the pump and prevent cavitation. Excessive oil is prevented from accumulating on the cylinder walls of the reciprocating engine by oil control rings on the pistons. Excessive oil is prevented from accumulating on the cylinder wall of the reciprocating engine by oil control rings on the pistons. The main oil filters strain the oil at which point in the system, just as it leaves the pressure pump. The main oil filter in the aircraft engine strains the oil just after it leaves the pressure pump. Which of the following bearing types must be continuously lubricated by pressure oil? Plain. Which of these characteristics are desirable in turbine engine oil? High flash point. Purpose of directing bleed air to the outer turbine case on some engines is to provide optimum blade tip clearance by controlling thermal expansion. Clearance between the tip of the turbine blades and the outer turbine case is critical to the engine performance. As the engine gets hot, the case expands and this clearance increases. In most turbine engine oil tanks, a slight pressurization of the tank is desired to ensure a positive flow of oil. Excessive oil is prevented from accumulating on the cylinder walls of the reciprocating engine by oil control rings on the piston. The main oil filter strain the oil at which point in the system, just as it leaves the pressure pump. Which of the following bearing types must be continuously lubricated by pressure oil? Plain. Which of these characteristics is desirable in turbine engine oil? High flash point. As a general rule, a small amount of small fuzzy particles or gray metallic paste on a turbine engine magnetic chip detector is considered to be the result of normal wear. Gray metallic paste on turbine engine magnetic chip detector is considered to be the result of normal wear. In which of the following situation will the oil cooler automatic bypass valve be open the greatest amount? Engine oil below normal operating temperature. So when the engine oil is below its normal operating temperature, the automatic bypass valve is wide open. This wide open valve allows the oil to completely bypass the cooler. As the oil warms up, the automatic bypass valve closes and directs the oil through the core of the cooler so it can be cooled. What will be the result of operating an engine in extremely high temperature using a lubricant recommended by the manufacturer for a much lower temperature? The oil pressure will be lower than normal. If the oil recommended for a low temperature operation is used in engine when it is operating in high temperatures, the condition of the oil will have a lower viscosity than should be used in engine. Therefore, the oil pressure will be lower than recommended. Where are sludge chambers when used in aircraft engine lubrication system usually located? In the crankshaft throat. In the crankshaft throat. What type of oil is usually found in the turbine engines? Dry sump, pressure, and spray. The main oil filters strain the oil at which point in the system? Just as it leaves the pressure pump. Just as it leaves the pressure pump. What will result if the oil filter becomes completely blocked? What will result if the oil filter becomes completely blocked? Oil will flow at a normal rate through the system. Oil will flow at a normal rate through the system. As an aid to cold weather starting, the oil dilution system thins the oil with gasoline. Some larger reciprocating engines use a compensating oil pressure relief valve to provide a high engine oil pressure when the oil is cold and automatically lower than the oil pressure provide a high engine oil pressure when the oil is cold and automatically lower the oil pressure when the oil is warmed up. Which of the following lubrication system components is never located between the pressure pump and the engine pressure system? Fuel line for oil dilution system. Which of the following lubrication system is never located between the pump pressure and engine pressure system? The fuel line oil dilution system. Oil accumulation in the cylinder of an inverted inline engine and in lower cylinders of a radial engine is normally reduced or prevented by Extended cylinder skirt. Extended cylinder skirts. Lubricating oil with high viscosity index ratings are oils in which the viscosity does not vary much with temperature change. Lubricating oil with high viscosity index ratings are oils in which the viscosity does not vary with temperature changes. In which of the following situation will the oil cooler automatic bypass open the greatest amount? Engine oil below normal operating temperatures. Which following situation will the oil cooler automatic bypass valve open the greatest amount? Engine oil below operating temperatures. Oil picks up most of the heat from which of the following turbine engine component? Turbine bearing. Lubricating oil with high viscosity index ratings are oils in which the viscosity does not vary much with temperature change. Lubricating oil with high viscosity index ratings are oils in which viscosity does not vary much with temperature change. What is the purpose of a last chance oil filters? To filter the oil immediately before it enters the main bearings. To filter the oil immediately before it enters the main bearing. What is the source of most of the heat that is absorbed by lubricating oil in a reciprocating engine? Pistons and cylinder walls. Pistons and cylinder walls. What is the source of most of the heat that is absorbed by lubricating oils in the reciprocating engine? Pistons and cylinder walls. Pistons and cylinder walls.